plan B. You might see him throw a few more changeups and fastballs. Blue Jays are good fastball hitters. As Tim said, David Cone.
White has 4 hits in the World Series, but 3 of them came in Game 4. Line to left, and it falls in for a hit in front of Deion Sanders. So Devon White takes the second pitch of the night into left, and he's aboard with nobody out in the top of the first. And he has not attempted a stolen base in the World Series, in large part because he hasn't been on. He's off with this pitch. Berryhill's throw, much too late. And Devon White has his first stolen base of the postseason, and the Blue Jays' 4th. This season he was 4th in the major leagues and 3rd in the American League with runners in scoring position. Good job of hitting. You can see Alomar make the effort to slap the ball to the right side and move White to 3rd with 1 out. Now the 3-1 pitch. Line toward the gap in right center. Justice on the run. Can't play it. It's off his glove and behind him. White on to score. Carter into second, and the Blue Jays lead 1-0.
I wonder if he lost that ball in the lights. It appeared that he was drawing a bead on it. He has never had an extra base hit in the World Series.
And he walks on 4 pitches. Not the worst thing that could have happened for Steve Avery with first base open, already behind in the count to Winfield. Now they set up the double play possibility. Olderud was 0 for 3 in Game 3 against Avery with 2 strikeouts. Softly hit towards short. Lauser to lefty for the out on Winfield, the second out of the inning. Carter takes 3rd on the play. 1st and 3rd with 2 down as Maldonado reaches on a fielder's choice. To short, Lauser bobbles, but recovers in time to force Maldonado and end the inning. 1 run in the first for the Blue Jays after half an inning. Toronto 1 and Atlanta coming up. From the New York Mets in exchange for Jeff Kent and Ryan Thompson. Cone making his 2nd appearance in this World Series. He had no decision in Game 2.
1990. 4-1 in this park.
Chopped to short to Manuel Lee. 1 out. It's David Cone in the past. He went 1 for 3 against Cone in Game 2 and is now 7 for 12 lifetime against him. Carter wades off Cone, 2 down. In the bottom of the first, the Blue Jays lead 1-0. Tomahawk in the right center, that's a base hit. So the Braves have their first base runner with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. He's looking on as his teammates bat in the bottom of the first. 2 outs and a runner at first, and a fly ball in the shallow right center. Manuel Lee, the shortstop, who was shifted over to the right side of the infield, made the play to end the inning. After 1 in Game 6, the Blue Jays lead 1-0. The 1-0 lead. They have the bottom 3rd of their order coming up. Orders, then Lee and Cone. Line under the glove of Jeff Lauser with a chance to play it. But it eluded his grasp, and Pat Borders continues to sizzle. He's the leading hitter in the World Series, now 8 for 17. There's another grand slam in this series. Another $1,000 will go to the Homers for America program. David Justice, the catcher right for the first out of the second.
I thought Manuel Lee missed a sign. That was a bunt sign. Cito Gaston saying that he could let him hit away. Deion Sanders almost on the left field line in left field.
That's the second and a double play ball. Empty booted it. Lauser still manages to turn it. 4-6-3, and that ends the inning. After an inning and a half in Atlanta, the Blue Jays won and the Braves nothing. Bobby Cox said that's a lot of baloney. Many of Justice's teammates were upset as well. That's ball 4. Green battled all the way back from 0-2 to work home for the first walk of the night thrown by the Toronto right-hander.
We mentioned 111. Lauser turned him.
stops at second. First and second and nobody out as Jeff Blauser delivers his 4th hit of the World Series.
And that's another example.
Berryhill did not have a sacrifice bunt during the regular season, nor does he have one in the postseason. That's well hit to center field. Devon White spinning back to the warning track to make the catch. Bream tags and heads to third. Blauser remains at first. Berryhill hit it a long way, but to the deepest part of the ballpark. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball, not particularly deep in left center. White makes the catch. Bream won't try. He started down the line and then wisely thought better of it, as White's throw was right on the money to the cutoff.
Gone with 12 wild pitches on the season, 17 last year.
Blauser takes off. Avery strikes out, and that ends the inning. The Braves threaten but do not score. And after 2, it's Toronto 1 and Atlanta nothing.
Average, but his World Series numbers are down.
And he strikes out on 3 pitches. Berryhill has to throw down to first for the putout. 1 out in the 3rd. That's the first strikeout of the night for Steve Avery. Alomar appeared to be safe but was called out. He was also hit by a pitch on the wrist. He's sore. That's to right and toward the gap and in for a hit. Justice over to cut it off, holding Alomar to a long single. So Roberto breaks an 0 for 7 drought with a 1-out base hit here in the 3rd. Now Joe Carter, who knocked in the only run of this game with a sacrifice fly to right. He wound up reaching when David Justice couldn't snare the fly ball and was charged with an error. Alomar off with the first pitch. He'll steal it without a throw. Avery with the slow move to the plate and an off-speed pitch. And Alomar
Be through running yet.
10 for 10 in his career in the postseason, 8 for 8 this year. Carter to the right side. Another good piece of hitting by a Blue Jay hitter. This not as admirable because there was 1 out. But it did appear that Carter was trying to shoot that through the hole that he had on the right side. Fly ball should be handled with ease by Justice. And it is. The Blue Jays strand a runner at third. We'll return to Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium after this word from your local station.
Braves, he's their most important guy in the lineup. He's not with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
Chopped up the middle. Lee, nice play to his left for the first out of the inning.
He is similar to Devon White or Roberto Alomar with Toronto.
Well hit down the line off the glove of Joe Carter. That's a fair ball, and there's a lot of room in foul ground. Sanders on his way to second, and that's as far as he'll get with 1 out. Turning their trademark Jays. Sanders taking off at third. The pitch gets through Borders. Sanders slid into third head first. And he's 90 feet away now with the game-tying run with 1 out. For 4 and a third innings in game 2. Now the infield is in with a tying run at third and 1 out. The 2-1 pitch hit more than deep enough to get the run in as Devon White retreats to the front of the warning track. Sanders limps home from third. We're tied at 1. Battled from 3-0 to 3-2, and the payoff pitch is a breaking ball that throws Justice for the final out of the inning. Second strikeout of the night for Cone. The Braves with 1 run in the 3rd to tie it. After 3, 1-1 the score. Maldonado with a high fly ball to deep left field. Sanders back to the warning track to the wall. It's a home run. Just the second hit of the World Series for Candy Maldonado, but both have been big. And they love it at the Sky Dome, where they're watching on the Jumbotron scoreboard. First home run of the World Series for Maldonado makes it 2-1 Blue Jays.
And before that home run,
for the Toronto Blue Jays. Ties a record shared by the 1970 Orioles and the 1989 Athletics. Gruber to short. Lauser to base. Again, Gruber by a running step. 1 out in the 4th. Said after the game, I pitched about as well as I can pitch. He's on the short end of a 2-1 score at the moment. Down the line, Pendleton couldn't glove it. Borders rounds first. He'll try for 2. Sanders with the throw over the head of Lemke and backed up by Breen to keep Borders at second. Borders at second, 1 out. 1 run in here in the 4th for the Blue Jays. They lead 2-1. Payoff pitch to Lee. Check swing, strike 3, says John Shulock. And Lee is 0 for his last 11.
That is a big strikeout right there. If Manuel Lee
way over toward left. Sanders almost on the line. Cone walks on 4 pitches. The 1-0. Line to left to hit. Sanders plays it. Borders being waved in. The throw to the plate, and here he is out at home. Sanders' throw was right on the money. Green first ball swinging, and it's a fly to shallow left for Maldonado.
twice to Blauser. He has stayed away with the first.
Great play by Alomar. 1-hop throw, gloved by Carter for the out.
Oh, man. What a play. Wow. High fastball from Tug McGraw to give Philadelphia their only world championship.
And that's strikeout number 11 for Damon Berryhill. The Braves go in order in the 4th. After 4, the Blue Jays 2, the Braves 1.
He's 7-0 for the Braves this year. First World Series appearance. Following
4 innings by Steve Avery. Roberto Alomar on the bounding ball to second. He's 1 for 3. If you're just joining us, Toronto leads 2-1 after 4 innings.
I think Bobby Cox, with everybody available for the most part, all of his pitchers.
That is a fair ball. Top spin line drive down the left field line for Joe Carter. Sanders juggled it once on the bullpen mound, and it didn't matter. It was going to be a double all the way for Carter. His first hit of the night and 5th of the series. Now the payoff pitch again. Lined into left center on the run. Nixon made the catch. Carter a long way toward third, but he'll get back. Nixon had to take a couple of steps to get his balance back after having the long run to make the nice running catch in the gap. When that appeared to be ticketed. Slowly to short. Lauser throws him out, and Pete Smith survives the 5th unscathed. The Braves dodge another bullet. Halfway through game 6. His 3-1 pitch. His ball 4. And now, because it's a bunting situation, they're not going to hit for Pete Smith.
And by the time Cone releases the ball, you could possibly steal a base.
Smith turns to bunt with 2 strikes and fouled it off. He's out. So that's a strikeout. The first out of the inning. Popped up along the line. Lee drifts over and makes the catch. They say he was in fair territory. That's the second out of the inning. Up the middle, a hit. Lemke will continue on toward third and get there without a throw. That call, I think that the call has to be turned to David Cone, but they seemed upset that it was called a strike. Sanders takes off. The pitch is a ball. And Dion has another stolen base. His second tonight, his 5th in as many tries in the World Series.
That's a splitter.
the 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Foul tipped into the mid of borders for the final out of the inning. The Braves leave 2 men in scoring position. They've stranded 5 after 5. Recalls when he made his major league debut here at Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium in 1987. There were 2,400 people in the stands. That's well hit down the left field line, but Sanders has room at the 3:30 mark in the corner. Gruber now 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 18 in the series. He's the first out of the 6th inning. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball, popped it up. Bream and Berryhill with room. It's Bream for the second out. Line down the right field line, a fair ball. And a base hit for Lee. Just his second of the series. He slips down, but the throw went to second. And he's back to first with 2 down. That's the 8th Toronto hit of the ballgame. Struck out 12. Since arm trouble started to plague him, he doesn't throw quite as hard, but he's been effective, that's for sure. Horn is out on the ground ball. That ends the inning. Bottom of the 6th upcoming at Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium. The Blue Jays 2 and the Braves 1. Thinks his team is one harmonious lot. Payoff pitch again. Well hit to right. Winfield makes the play. Justice out on the line drive for the first out of the inning. And Bream walks. Ball 4 apparently low. Bream walks for the second time. Cohen has had much better control tonight. Well, that's only the 3rd free pass that he has issued. This will be pitch number 98 of the night from David Cohen. He struck him out with the off-speed pitch. Blauser out in front of it for the second out of the inning. 6 strikeouts tonight for David Cohen. Enjoy his playing time in New York. Enjoyed the city. Berryhill with a pop-up. Lee out. Maldonado in. It's Lee making the play. Certainly caused an anxious moment or two for folks throughout Canada. From the Huron language, it means meeting place on a Great Lake. Devon White to right field, and David Justice. 1 pitch and 1 out for Pete Smith in the top of the 7th. Blue Jays can terminate. Alomar 1 for 3, a single to right in the 3rd. He stole second in that inning. In the hole, Blauser. Fine effort, but he had no chance to get Alomar, who's 2 for 4 tonight. He came into the night 2 for 18. 0-2 the count on Carter. Alomar first with 1 out in the 7th inning. 2-1 Blue Jays. Breaking ball, pulled down the line. Great backhand play by Pendleton. They get the out at second and cannot turn the double play. Oh, that appeared to be headed for the corner, but Pendleton was able to spare it and erase the lead runner. Working to Dave Winfield with a count of 0-1. Very high, not particularly deep. Otis Nixon waves Sanders off. That ends the inning. Blue Jays have now left 8 men on base. 7th inning stretch. Game 6. 2-1 Blue Jays. Allowed only 5 hits in 43 at-bats. Off-speed pitch. Lemke fouled it. Borders throws down to first. Actually appeared that Lemke missed it. That's why he had to throw down to first. Stottlemyre's 0-2. Well hit, but played on a hop by Alomar. 2 down. We mentioned at the outset they got David Cohen. Two-1 pitch. Little looper, base hit. Over the head of the shortstop Lee and in the left field for Otis Nixon. He's 1 for 4 tonight. And as you mentioned, look out for the stolen base.
And we mentioned that the Toronto relievers started this inning on 13 in the 3rd scoreless innings.
2-1 Toronto in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, Nixon at first. He is running. Gant took a ball. Borders throw. Got him. Jerry Crawford. He's had a busy night on appeals. The new pitcher for Atlanta is Mike Stanton. The Blue Jays started winning almost immediately. It's been more than just a couple of days. Maldonado a base hit. He's 2 for 4 tonight, and he owns the biggest hit in this ball game, the home run leading off the 4th off Steve Avery. He's 0 for 3. Pendleton in on the grass at third, expecting the bunt. It's a good bunt. Pendleton with a strong throw to Lemke to get the sliding Gruber, who went in head first. It's a sacrifice, and Maldonado is in scoring position with 1 out.
And
the count.
Excuse me, Sean. If Ed Sprague comes up and they bring in the right-hander, you'll liable to see John Olerud. So the Blue Jays, even though the bottom of the order is coming up, they realize that Dwayne Ward.
The Blue Jays with a chance to build on a 2-1 lead with runners at first and second and 1 out. Lee pops up the first pitch. Bream has room in foul territory. 2 down. Sprague's home run in game 2. He also scored a big run in the championship series against Oakland. To the right side, Bream goes to the shortstop, Blauser. That ends the inning. The Blue Jays squander another chance. They leave 2 men on base. They've stranded 10.
He has walked no one, allowing only 1 hit in 2 1/3 innings.
Gant to right, sinking fast. Winfield. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Great tumbling catch by Dave Winfield in right for the first out of the 8th inning. Two-two pitch. He struck him out. The foul tip squeezed by Borders for the 2nd out of the 8th. And they're hanging on every pitch, some 40,000 in World Series competition. Tonight is his 12th World Series start, and that's a fly ball to left, not deep. Maldonado makes the catch. The Toronto Blue Jays 3 outs away from the World Championship, and they love it at Skydome. Roberto Alomar and Joe Carter to follow against Mike Stanton, who's pitched 1 scoreless inning. Line and caught. Lemke ranging to his left, put it away for the first out of the 9th. Base hit, fair ball into the left field corner. Carter on his way to second with his 2nd double of the night.
I think that's a mistake by Terry Pendleton.
0-2 with 2 outs and Carter at second. 2-1 Toronto in the 9th inning. Bounced up the middle. Blauser throws him out. The Blue Jays have left 11. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Blauser, Berryhill, and Lemke do. The Blue Jays 3 outs away from the World Championship.
It's not at first for defense, and the Joe Carter's not in right. That's your best defensive alignment.
But all year long they had sent Dave Stapleton in for defense for Buckner in late innings. Buckner made the error. The Red Sox never won the championship. Blauser through the hole. Gruber was playing the line. And the tying run is aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Jeff Blauser 2 for 4 tonight. Berryhill has only sacrificed 7 times in his entire career. That's a good bunt. Hankey has to go to first to Alomar covering. It's a sacrifice for the first out of the bottom of the 9th. Now the tying run is in scoring position. The 8th pitch of the at-bat is ball 4. Catch. He started in and then it almost went over his head. Cabrera had a rising line drive. Maldonado came in, then had to leap at the last moment to snare it. The Blue Jays 1 strike away from the World Championship. The 0-2 pitch. Slap to the left side, a hit. Bowser's being waved in. Maldonado's throw is over everything. It's a tie ball game. Otis Nixon took an 0-2 pitch into left field. Henke with a payoff pitch to Gant. Fly ball, left center. Devon White is there to make the catch and send the ball game into extra innings. 1 run for the Braves in the ninth. Drove in the game-tying run to make it 2-2 after 9, and as we go to the 10th, Charlie Liebrandt. The 1-2 pitch to short. Played nicely on a hop by Blauser. 1 out in the 10th. And he was the winning pitcher in Game 7 of the playoffs that year when Kansas City finished off its comeback from 3 games to 1 down to beat the Toronto Blue Jays. Kelly Gruber lines a base hit into center field. So the Blue Jays have the go-ahead run aboard with 1 out. Gruber has just his second. Liebrandt to the plate. Borders with a fly ball. Ron Gannon left. 2 down. We're in the bottom of the 10th against Tom Henke. Liebrandt to the plate with the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Liebrandt has it. On to the bottom of the 10th. 2-2 the score. It didn't pay off when Jeff Blauser bounced a leadoff single through last inning and scored the tying run. It pays off this time as Carter was perfectly positioned for Pendleton. 1 out in the bottom of the 10th.
Of course, Jack Morris pitched 2 nights ago in an emergency. I would imagine Cito Gaston.
Through Key, but Griffin was playing him perfectly. The shift pays off for Toronto. The shortstop on the right side of the infield. The ball came right to Alfredo Griffin for the 2nd out of the 10th. Chopped down to first. Carter flips to Key, and the Braves go in order in the bottom of the 10th. We had the 11th. The Blue Jays coming up in a 2-2 ball game. Been in college since 1982. He had a career .300 average for the Clemson Tigers. A pop-up. Bream has it. Jimmy probably had some batting practice yesterday. It hit him. The crowd thought John Shulock was calling him out on strikes. Instead, he was indicating that the ball brushed Devon White, and he has first base with 1 out. To the plate and lined into center field to hit. White to second, and he'll stop there. Roberto Alomar with 3 hits tonight. He started the night with only 2 hits in this series. Bobby Cox has made the decision to stick with the lefty Liebrandt to face Carter. The runners take off. Carter lifts one to center, not deep. Devon White jogs back to second as Nixon makes the catch for the 2nd out. We're in the 11th, 2-2 the score. The runners go on the 3-2 to Winfield. Down the line, a base hit into the left field corner. White has scored. Alomar comes around. The ball gets away from Gant. It's a 2-run double for Dave Winfield. And a 4-2 Toronto lead. The 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Rafael Belliard on the outfield grass ends the inning. But the Blue Jays get 2 huge runs on Dave Winfield's first ever extra base hit in the World Series. They're 3 outs away again, and will return after this word from your local station when this ball game begins. Facing Jeff Blauser. Line to left. Here we go again. Blauser started the 9th with a base hit and scored the game-tying run. He starts the 11th with a base hit. That'll bring the tying run to the plate.
Hill can get on, then Belliard will be allowed to bunt him over.
Up the middle. Bad hop, and Griffin couldn't glove it. Blauser continues to third. He'll get there without a throw. Had he fielded it, it was a perfect double play ball with Berryhill running, but it bounced up at the last moment. Griffin couldn't handle it. Belliard hit just .211 during the regular season. He squares to bunt again. This time it's in play. The runner holds at third. Key to Alomar covering for the first out. But now the tying run is in scoring position. Blauser still at third. Smoltz has moved up to second. Off the end of the bat down to first. Carter makes the play for the second out. A run scores. It's 4-3 Toronto. And now the tying run is at third base. But the Braves are again down to their final out. And again it will be Otis Nixon, who singled with 2 outs.
Mike Timlin pitched 1 inning in Game 5. That was the 7th inning, if you remember.
Timlin. Nixon bunts. Timlin on it. Throws to first. For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border. The Toronto Blue Jays are baseball's best in 1992.